The Warriors very likely will find a way to hang on to JK. Doesn't mean that he's going to be a long-term answer, that they just move him later. Because what seems pretty clear in talking to people is that even the people who are, I guess you can say, JK backers with the Warriors don't see him as a guy that's going to lead them to championships. So it's not like he can take Steph's torch into the future. Nobody's saying that, if we hang on to JK, that's the guy that's going to get us more rings. No one is saying that. And so that's why there's that wiggle room there that says, they like him, but they're not committed to him being there forever, like they were to Steph.
The Jonathan Kuminga novel, romance, movie with the Warriors, call whatever you want, but it seems to be far away from over. When we're all counting about a sign and trade and has been so much said about it, the rumors, we just got this news, which I said here before, I thought the Warriors would go for a sign and trade, but now more likely, Kuminga is staying. And the reason he's staying is because of the rules that we have right now, the sign and trade reality that the Warriors have to face. And we're going to talk everything here today. Who is going to suffer, right? The biggest impact if Kuminga actually stays with the Warriors. And as Monte said, he might not stay for forever. And the Warriors might actually be looking to trade him after December, before the trade deadline. And we're going to talk here why this would happen, right? But this is the recent news that we got on Kuminga, right? He might be looking to stay with the Warriors. The Warriors might also be looking to retain him. And I think actually it's good for both sides. So let's break this down. So what is happening right now, right? None of the teams in the league except the Brooklyn Nets actually have any cap space. Kuminga is likely looking for a contract that would be around, ideally for him, he wanted something above the 30 million, a 4-year contract or something. The Warriors, on the other hand, probably would like to offer Kuminga something around the 15 million. I believe they would cover and try to retain him if something around 20 and 25, and I think that's what he deserves right now. But the fact is, the Warriors were very linked to the Brooklyn Nets, to the Miami Heat recently, I brought here in the channel, potentially bringing Wiggins back, and also to the Chicago Bulls. And recently, we already saw this news here, is that the Brooklyn Nets are not interested in Jonathan Kuminga. And that's already start blocking a lot of stuff, a lot of things, because they are the team with cap space. They are the team that the Warriors are interested in Nick Claxton or Cam Johnson. So because any sign and trade with Kuminga, remember, he's a restricted free agent, so it means that the Warriors can cover anything that he gets offered, but he is not expected to receive a big offer. And it's not because just he doesn't deserve, it's because the new rules that the NBA apply with the first apron, the taxes and everything that is coming, the results that are coming with that, it's forcing every single team, especially in the last and this one, until I think the team sort of stabilized this roster, everyone is exploding on their cap space. Boston Celtics, we're gonna see Denver Nuggets, the Phoenix Suns, every single team except the Brooklyn Nets, they don't have space on their payroll. And that's why it's unlikely, despite Kuminga wanting, that he's gonna receive a big offer. And if he's not gonna receive a big offer, why not staying with the Warriors if the Warriors wants to do that? And then, so when you look at for the Warriors option, why? Let's take a look on this one here. So this is how the payroll for next year is looking like. You can see here that I already removed the unconfirmed ones, which means Gary Payton, Pat Spencer, Kevin Looney, and Jonathan Kuminga is 0 here. So assuming that he's not coming, right? So we would be in 171 million. That's known as well. Most of the payroll is taken by Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, and Jim Butler. So if you want to, and the projected first apron for next season is 195. So without Jonathan Kuminga right now, we are about 14 million in space to not go through that first apron that I think is the main desire of the front office right now, Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy Jr. So how we bring Kuminga, right? With the circumstance that we are presenting with this rule, and now I'm gonna talk to you about the sign and trade rule again, is that whatever the Warriors sign Kuminga for, only half of it counts for the Warriors as when sending the contract away. So imagine that Kuminga signs a 30 million contract that his desire, right? Some team comes in and want to offer a 30 million contract for Kuminga. Let's say it was the Brooklyn Nets. Now, for the Warriors, when we are sending this contract away, only half of it, its value. The other half, it stays as the Warriors in the Warriors space. And then that means that we are actually just getting back a player not of 30 millions, but 15 millions. So you understand this. We sent Kuminga away. We signed him the 30 million to be able to trade him and get that value. But if you do this right now, because of the new CBA rules, you are not allowed to trade the 30 million. You're just trading 15 or whatever is half of what he signed for. So the Warriors already start losing on it because you're going to absorb salary space without even having the player there. And that's why when you look from the Warriors perspective, and you're thinking just on the financial part, makes no sense to trade Kuminga right now. And then for Kuminga, if you don't have anyone actually offer you that 30 million, why not maybe accept the offer of the Golden State Warriors? But then the point is, if no one offers anything for Kuminga right now, because even if they offer, right, it depends on the Warriors letting Kuminga walk away, right? Which I just think they would do it for something above the 30 million. Or the Warriors sign Kuminga and they can retain him, or they need to engage with this team and figure out a trade. So it's also willing what the Warriors wants to receive back for Kuminga, staying with that cap space without having him, but also what are we willing to negotiate with other teams to receive him, right? Because then on top of that, for example, let's say the Chicago Bulls Nikola Vucevic, he's a 21 million contract. You sign Kuminga for a 21 million contract or whatever it is. When you send away, you're retaining half of it. So a 21 million contract Vucevic actually for the Warriors is now 31. We're not paying him 31, but it counts on our cap space as 31. So it makes, and then you basically limit yourself to whatever else the Warriors wants to do. And I don't think, I definitely think that the Warriors are going for size this season. And we're going to talk who gets impacted if Kuminga stay. So one option that the Warriors have and Kuminga have right now, if he signs his offer to stay with the Warriors, his applicable offer, which is expected to be the 7.9, he would stay with the Warriors for 1 year. He cannot be traded until December, if I'm not wrong. Correct me in the comments if this date is wrong. But he cannot be traded. So the Warriors would have to start the season with him. I think it's like a 6 months or something like that. And then you could trade the Kuminga for the entire value of his contract. What is the risk there for both sides? For Kuminga, it's like last year of his contract. What value does he get injured? He basically lose the value, he'll lose the year. It's that risk when you let your contract expire. For the Warriors, you might see him walking away later in not getting anything back. Plus, you block that chunk of your cap space right now, and you have to stay with Kuminga, which I say that is this movie that Netflix should be investing on, because like is the whole Kuminga Steve Kerr thing that it's like we're gonna use him, then I don't use him, then he doesn't fit, then Kuminga comes and throw a 30 points game. So we don't know. I think us as a fan, our biggest desire is to finish with this movie with Kuminga staying, a 22-year-old player that can still take leaps, that can still improve. Let's say he comes next season, he improves on his rebounds, which we have been commenting here in the channel and exchanging messages that it's one of the things that he needs to improve. So as a fan, I think the ideal scenario would be for Kuminga to stay keep being that guy that can put it like a 25 points game, 30 points sometimes, and improve on his defense, improve on his rebounds, and improve the way and fit him with Butler, Green, Curry, and the rotation, right? Because I think that's the struggle that Steve Kerr has been facing. But I also blame a little bit Kerr because I feel like the patience that he has with Kuminga is very different than other guys that have even delivered less, in my point of view. So that said, if the Warriors accept that offer, like the Warriors and Kuminga stay on that, Kuminga says, look, I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying. He also sort of defining the summer and the offseason for the Warriors, right? Because now we jump to almost 179. We still want to get size and we want to be under the first April. So then we are talking about 195, 178, 17 million. 17, did I do the math? Yeah, 17 million. So before I actually said 14, it was 24, but 17 million that we have in space to bring some size. And the Warriors are also looking for some guard and everything. So we might explore that in the draft. But you see how important, like Kuminga right now, he's going to shape the whole offseason for the Warriors. But I still think, considering that during the season later on, we're going to be able to start discussing trading him again, that's the best option right now. We're going to lose a lot of value and we're going to block also our cap space by trading him the sign and trade that I know some of you and even I sometimes myself, I want to see him go and bring somebody else. But considering he's a 22 years old and has improved year by year and still has so much to improve, I think that's valuable. It's not going to be a worse scenario or a disaster if he stays for the Warriors. So I think what might happen here is that the Warriors might take it might happen something good for the Warriors, even though they were not trying. Like he might stay, might take a leap. I see that can happen. Start playing with Jim Butler from the beginning of the season. So I think there's a path here. Really happy for both sides. So I'm seeing this, even if we stay with bright eyes and then we focus on getting that big with the rest of the space that we have. I have already done videos here about the top 10 centers available in the market right now, or Brook Lopes specifically. So I think those are things that the Warriors can explore if they close the chapter with Kuminga, with him staying. And then, who actually get impacted, right? Because that's the thing. If Kuminga stays, then he's not being traded. We still want size. Kevin Looney is gone. Gary Payton is gone. And we have about 17 million to explore bringing someone. And I think the ones that is the most going away, and plus, it's not just bringing the one, right? We have to fulfill the 14 spots of the roster. So I think that then when Kuminga chapter close, we turn the page to Buddy Hield and Moses Moody, because then they become, look at the cap space again, that you can go back in the video if you want, but the valuable contracts that we have to trade, it become Moses Moody and Buddy Hield, right? So if you're not trading Kuminga, then I do think those two guys here, they get on the spot so hot because they're the assets that the Warriors will be able to negotiate with. Because I don't think we are trading Draymond Green. I have said here multiple times, unless it's for Giannis. And I don't think we're trading Butler and Curry. So that's the two guys that I think gets impacted most. Anyway, I think, again, for me, it's happening something good with the Warriors, even when they are not trying to. I like the idea of Kuminga staying with all the risks that has implied to. I still think we should make it work. I have a belief in a guy that can deliver 30-point games in a playoff. There is value there. It's just a matter of polishing that guy that is only 22 years old, so he should be good. And then you don't lose that value on the contract right now with this crazy rule of the sign and trade. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like the idea of Kuminga staying or not, and if you're trading Kuminga, how would you do that? Leave in the comments. Have a great day and bye.